Welcome, everybody! Another exciting edition of the Sports Hole. I'm your host, Luke. With me, as always, XFL Jim, rock and roll Matty Goldberg.
Got the pasta.
Pasta la vista, baby.
I got the cherry limeade ghost.
Ew, what the fuck is that? What's a ghost?
Energy drink.
I didn't know. I've never heard of it. Is that a new one?
I mean, it's been around for a few years now.
What is it? What's special about it?
Nothing. I mean, I like the flavor.
Okay.
I mix it up. I switch up my energy drinks. I go from I do sugar-free Red Bull. I do White Monster. I do
Rampage.
Blueberry C4, and then I do
Blueberry
limeade
C4.
All those things
What
taste
the
like
fuck?
shit.
Oh my
No,
god.
they taste delicious.
Tastes like ass water.
It tastes amazing, man.
Do they give you mouth sores?
If I drink too many of them, but I don't drink them all the time. But when I do drink them, I switch. I rotate.
You know my favorite energy drink?
Coffee.
That's right. You know why? Because I'm a man with a penis
coffee.
and balls.
Coffee makes me just uncontrollably shit.
You know what I did this
That's
weekend?
good for you. Gets things moving.
You know what I did this weekend?
Yes, Matthew. What did you do?
I shagged the Playboy Playmate in Cleveland.
Oh, really? Tell me more.
Oh,
And she took her index finger with buffalo wing sauce and stuck it in my rectum.
What?
crazy!
Get out of here. Why did she have buffalo wing sauce on her rectum?
No idea, but that was the great Stuttering John yesterday.
Yeah.
Matty, what would it take to get Stuttering John on the Sports Hole?
Probably a case of Coors Light.
Would you want to do it?
Yes. By the way, guess who said he's coming here next Wednesday to visit me?
Who?
Somebody in our hearts that you guys have never met in person, but no,
Alex Stein?
close. Who else is a guest that was on this show?
The Boston food eating guy?
Sean Murphy.
No way.
Yeah.
Emerging from the shadows.
What version is this though?
Boring version.
Oh,
Unfortunately.
medicated Sean.
Yeah.
This is not Island Boy Sean. This is
No,
this
he
is
went to Cal
medicated
Berkeley.
Murphy.
Yeah, he went to Cal Berkeley and a friend of his passed away. So he asked if he could stay with me for a day or two and then go up to San Francisco.
Yeah, we'll get him on. Hey, I know you're here for a funeral, but tell us more about your
We'll get him
prostitute
on. And the
exploits.
problem is he's just gonna go, I was off my meds. That's all he's gonna say.
Oh man, that's such a great excuse, though.
Like he was
You
once
could use that for anything.
You could.
He was once so in love with Yamanika, and now it's like, nah.
You think
yeah.
Dom Cruise is still at her? Did Dom Cruise get on medication?
I don't know. I wish I knew where Dom Cruise and his big meathead friend is.
You think
I
Dom
bet
Cruise
he's still.
needs
I mean, he's
medication?
got that channel. It's probably like.
Yeah.
I've never seen a channel where it's like this guy's just like, "Hey, look at me! I'm fucking prostitutes in the DR, and you can too."
Yeah, it was wild.
Because you're not allowed to pimp there either. I kind of understand it if maybe like you were pimping, but I guess according to Sean Murphy, it's illegal to pimp there. Like
No, like to brag that hookers that are trying to take your money,
yeah,
that you look like Tom Cruise, isn't much of a flex.
yeah. People say I look like Tom Cruise. That's why they call me
I mean,
Dom Cruise.
You could be ripped.
Yeah.
Like that also probably means you are just
But his
ripped.
friend looks very scary. Like his friend, I was like, that's a guy that's gonna like kill a woman or something.
You know, like I was watching the World Series tonight, and it's going on right now, and it'll be over tomorrow, hopefully. But that guy that tried to rip out Mookie Betts' catch, he looked like something from a cartoon. Like if you drew a cartoon of a dumb Yankees fan.
It was the most stereotypical, like, let's cast a New York Yankee fan.
Yeah.
And then it was like, let's have a Yankee fan do something that a Yankee fan would do. Like Jimmy catches the ball, and the guy is going.
I've seen it, Matty.
We saw it.
I mean,
I've
it's
seen-
also
it's-
very hilarious.
it's-
I mean, he paid probably $5,000 for
right.
tickets, and he lasted 3 batters.
Yeah, but you know that guy's already got a Cameo account set up.
Of course.
Like Yankees interference guy.
Yeah, so lame.
No, I know what
I
I'm
would start a
getting
Twitter
mad at.
account. I would start a Twitter account if I was that guy. Just be like,
Oh yeah.
I'd ride this.
Oh,
in the
he's
sunset.
gonna trust me. Because I was watching the Barstool guys, like I love watching Yankee fans suffer. And
It is very fun.
They were like, he's the coolest guy ever. I'm like, no, he's not. He's a piece of shit. Get him the fuck out of there.
Yeah, it's funny though. If the Yankees come back and win the whole thing, they'll point to that guy
And
as
that's what they were saying. They're like,
yeah.
this is the turning point. Dummies.
Well, the Yankees got people on base
They
again.
do.
We'll see if they can bring anybody home. But this has been Freddie Freeman's World Series. He's hit a home run in every game.
5 games in a row, man.
Yeah.
It's like the Dodgers are so good because it's like, all right, we shut Ohtani down. He's kind of hurt. They shut Betts down. And then you got to get another like borderline Hall of Famer out. You got 3 borderline Hall of Famers that you have to get out in a row. They're all swinging hot bats. And Aaron Judge has just been awful.
Yeah, it's funny looking at the Yankees because they're all like giant and ripped.
Yes.
It looks like these just hunks up there swinging the bat. Giancarlo Stanton, I love it when he swings. It doesn't even look like a real swing. It's
That's the thing. He's so uncoordinated.
Yeah.
So if he touches the ball, he's going to hit it out. But this guy just hit him. So now the bases are loaded, I think. He hit Stanton and Judge is sitting. So he's just plunking.
Yeah, they might have to hit the bullpen early this game.
Maybe it didn't hit his. I don't know. This one's close. But yeah, it's been the National League has proved that it's so much better than the American League, and I'm gonna say the Padres were the second best team. The third best team were the Mets. Maybe the Phillies were the fourth best team. I'm gonna say the Yankees, like, they got it easy because the American League was pretty thin.
Yeah.
The Indians, the Orioles always choke, and then the Indians aren't in this class.
Excuse me, Matty.
The Guardians, whatever. Sorry. I forgot. I'm channeling my inner Tony Hinchcliffe.
Well, you know what? Out here, the local tribe out here, apparently I was told that they actually like to be called Indians. So
yeah, that's a lot of people. It's always like there's always like, well, I know Johnny Proudfoot, and he says it's an honor to be called that, and I'm like, and then somebody else like it's. So what do we know? Who knows?
I always just go with natives.
Yeah. But the
I
Guardian,
didn't see any like anti-sports gambling commercials this year. I guess
by the
that
way,
must not be on the
I
bill.
will have an anti-sports gambling story because I put some money on the Bears.
Dude, Matty, I thought you were going to say I invested in that girl's shit coin that was all over like sports betting Twitter.
No.
There's a
I'm
big
not on Twitter.
Well, she's on Instagram and whatnot too. There's apparently some tout girl who was like, she sells picks. She's sponsored by DraftKings.
Yeah.
She made a cryptocurrency.
Okay.
And then rug pulled everybody for like $20,000, lost her DraftKings sponsorship, and then like fake apologized, did a whole bunch of shit. It was very funny.
Is she good looking?
Yeah, Matty, like every Twitter tout is like,
if you're a hot
incredibly
chick
good looking
and you want to make a lot of money, you go into sports betting because you're like a unicorn. There's like 5 or 6 of them, and they're all cleaning up.
And they all suck at betting.
Doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
Look at every sports, talking head.
Most touts just suck.
Yeah.
No, that's.
Yeah, there's a guy in my poker group, and this dude's like, he's a total like Hollywood liberal guy, but he wants to fit in. And he's trying to give everybody basketball picks. And I'm like, dude, like, this ain't for you, bro. Right?
Are you saying sports gamblers tend to skew towards Trump?
Yeah,
they're conservative?
I even wrote, I go, are you really going to take picks from a guy who supports Kamala? I mean, imagine taking your sports picks from a Kamala guy. And I'm not even a Trump guy, but like, no, sir.
Oh, dude, there's value on her at plus
By the way,
170
people know
right
Maddie's
now.
doing this. Matty has spaghetti sauce on his lips right now, too.
Matty, there's value on Kamala at plus 170.
That is a good bet, man, because anything can happen. I think Tony Hinchcliffe might have gave her the election.
Wait, how?
Did you not see his roast?
No,
Oh, you haven't
didn't.
heard about it?
No, I've been out of the loop. I've been moving all week.
Okay, so they had a rally at MSG,
Okay.
and the ads are hysterical on football because every ad is for either Kamala or Trump, and they're just doing like Trump has a lot of black guys on the ad, and then there's this Kamala one where there's this like redneck guy in a pickup truck. He's like, I voted for Trump twice. This time I'm voting for Kamala. And you're like, yeah, whatever. This is the dumbest commercial I ever
Oh,
saw.
I know. I saw that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So
They by the way, they dressed that guy up in like Brett Favre
I
cosplay too.
know.
He's got this shitty old hat on, like a flannel, like he's the
Pickup
working
truck.
man.
No, so they had a rally at MSG, I guess, and Tony Hinchcliffe got to speak, and he did these roast jokes, and they were so bad and so racist that it's like everything the Democrats want to accuse Trump of, it was that. He was just like, what's that piece of shit land in the middle of nowhere? Oh, Puerto Rico. Oh, what do we want for my Morty's?
The top comment to that, Matty, was just like, it would have been funnier if you would have said Staten Island.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that would have been a misdirection and funny, but he was so bad, and he even bombed there. And
yeah, I saw the reactions to it. Like the crowd is like no reaction whatsoever.
No. By the way, like Tony Hinchcliffe is a guy all those people want to beat up. Like,
oh yeah,
like even if he's on their side, they still want to punch him in the face.
Yeah, he's a locker stuffed guy.
Yes, yeah, he is. That's definitely why he's still fighting against that to this day.
Well, it was bad.
Well, that would be. Luckily I got YouTube Premium now. I'm like, I've seen so few commercials.
Grand slam by the Yankees.
Oh damn! I see so many, Luke, and it's not just like I see obviously the federal, like the presidential ones.
Yeah,
and then I get like several Nebraska ones for the 2 like Senate candidates running, and then all the different bills they're trying to pass here because they've got like 8 different big bills they're trying to pass this year.
Okay.
And then every once in a while, I get like an Ohio or a Texas if you're watching college football. And they like just they must nationally broadcast those or something.
It's always like these words like this guy loves rapists. This guy loves murder.
He's not wrong. There's like the local ones are hilarious like that.
No, there's ones like incest, rapists, murderers.
I do miss the local ones.
This guy wants to let them.
They literally said one here, Matty, that's just like, he's just a big steaming pile of horse shit. They didn't say horse shit. They said BS. But they showed the graphic of a giant pile of shit.
Yeah. Like this guy wants to give rapists the fun pass to Disney.
It's fucking some of them are very funny.
Do you want these rapists at Disney?
The few I've seen of the federal one were like the Trump ones where it's like Kamala Harris wants transgenders in your house.
Yep.
Like
so,
every house is assigned a transgender.
Yeah, you have to support one.
Every prisoner has a right to regender assignment surgery. He's like, she's for they, them. Trump is for us.
When I saw that one for the first time, I died laughing.
Well, you don't watch a lot of NFL because it's on.
No, like early on in the season, like the first time I saw that one, I fucking died laughing. It was so funny. That line at the end is just.
I mean, I gotta be honest. That movie that was with Zach Galifianakis and Will Ferrell.
Oh, dude, super accurate. Good. Super accurate.
It was a pretty under the radar movie. It didn't do huge like their other ones.
XFL Jim is for terrorists. Mustache Osama bin Laden. XFL Jim.
Matty Goldberg is letting in terrorists, harboring.
Have you guys seen Mr. Show?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. They had stuff like this, but it was between 2 local supermarkets. So like one kid goes missing at a local market. It's like at our store, we don't allow strangers to walk off with your children. And then it goes to the other guy's commercial. It's like, that was one time. We didn't know. We don't we can't stop everybody. It's just like just the specificity of the commercials.
I vote for Kamala. Rapist, but you gotta
be nice. It'll be nice after 1 week, and then we're done.
Well, Luke, you gotta watch the Tony.
We're a week away from. It's a week from.
Is it the first Thursday or the
Tuesday.
Like the 6th.
Oh, Tuesday. Jesus,
Yeah,
that
it's the
shows
fifth.
how
Luke, when you get a chance,
civic-minded I
It's
am.
literally a week from the time that we're recording this.
Watch-
Yeah,
God.
next week we'll be in the throw. We should just do an election coverage.
I was going to say, do we want to just do a whole?
But it'll all just be tape delayed, so they can all listen to it tomorrow.
A sports whole tape delayed.
Oh my God, he's taking Pennsylvania.
When you get a chance to watch the Tony Hinchcliffe stuff. I know you're out of the loop, but we would have been talking about it because it was bad.
All I'm saying, the only involvement I had in the elections, I made $700 off of Biden's win in 2020. Nice. It was great.
Let me see. I can.
The live betting was sick. I live bet him at like plus 300.
Let me see
if
I can find
the name of the coach at Nebraska again? Matt, what's his name?
Matt Rule, baby.
Yeah.
I got 48 seconds of Tony Hinchcliffe. You want to listen?
Nebraska, Matt Rule.
Let's see. Let's see here how good he does.
Where are my proud Latinos at tonight?
There you go.
You guys see what I mean? It's wide open. Like. There's so many of them. It's absolutely incredible. Believe it or not, people, I welcome migrants to the United States of America with open arms. And by open arms, I mean like this.
Oh, boy.
It's wild. And these Latinos, they love making babies, too. Just know that. They do. They do. There's no pulling out. They don't do that. They come inside, just like they did to our country. There's a lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, that one didn't hit.
It actually is kind of funny when you realize it's at like a real politician rally.
I know.
Where he's saying like they come inside. They come inside.
Well, the funny thing is like the Democrats wanted to make it like this like big, scary white Nazi rally. And it's like, well, Tony Hinchcliffe, like you helped him like give him that. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, I get it. That I think that kind of might
realize
work towards your own crowd, but when other people are looking, watching it, not
I didn't
so
realize
much.
Hinchcliffe was a Trump guy.
Oh, he's part of the whole what's his face?
I guess he is part of the Rogan verse.
Yeah.
Like let's move to Austin and start our own country
and pretend to be cowboys.
Yeah.
I can't talk. I pretend to be a cowboy sometimes.
What do you mean? You went to a rodeo. You're a cowboy.
I did.
Yeah, your lady loves that.
I did used to like hop into pig pens and try and ride pigs when I was little.
Oh, that's funny.
It was a good fucking time.
Jim, you want to talk about that Nebraska heartbreaker this week?
Okay, we could talk a little college football from last week. That game hurt in every level, even on the level of like, you could kind of take away that we played hard, which is something I wasn't expecting after the Indiana blowout.
Yeah.
Defense, very proud of the Nebraska defense. I don't fully understand Ohio State's game plan because what was working was Will Howard passing the ball. He actually looked really good for a good chunk of the game, but they insisted on trying to run, which Nebraska was not letting the run happen at all. Good on you for that. Not terrible with the penalties. I mean, aside from like some really dumb ref calls. And then our kicker showed up, which has not happened all year. This was by far the best game of his career.
He was like 3 for 7 or something, and he kicked great.
And the offense was all right. Like I think Raiola played pretty good. He showed a running ability that he hadn't for most of the year, which I think is good. Offensive play calling leaves a lot to be desired still. I don't know if at the end of the year we retain Marcus Satterfield.
I want to say something, Jim.
That's the OC. That's
about the quarterback. I somehow found this guy, Matt Be Great. He's like a Southern dude that does a lot of cool college football videos. And he does these things like what happened to this guy. So like I got in this Tate Martell, and you see like there's Tate Martell, there's Max Brown, there's DJ. There's so many guys that come out of high school that are like 5-star, can't miss guys, and they do miss really bad. And I think your quarterback he's on the right path. He really is. and like the future is bright there. I mean, they had a little setback with Indiana, but that was I'm gonna say that was a I know there's no what's it called victories, moral victories, but that was, and they played Ohio. I don't think Ohio State is that like elite. They're good because obviously the way they recruit are good.
Yeah.
But it was a moral victory, I thought, from Nebraska, where you could be like, we went to the shoe and we played them toe to toe.
The issue is it felt like we were in a good position to actually get the win, which
Yeah,
does
what
suck.
hurts. Yeah.
And that hurts. Like there's a couple really bad like if that ref call at the end of the first half doesn't even let us get the field goal, I would have been very mad.
Yeah.
Spotted short and then goes for the jump. Don't love that. And then what the frustration with the OC is game winning drive to like potentially get the win.
Mm-hmm.
And you call 2 screen passes in a row. You need to drive downfield. What are we doing?
Yeah, that was a thing too. I saw there were so many like they kept doing it and they went nowhere.
Yeah.
They just
never
either
go
there were
anywhere.
screens or very short passes that the defense was just ready for. And you know, it sucks because you're like, yeah, it's a moral victory, but no, we really could have won that thing.
Yep.
You know, I mean, all I can say is everything is heading in the right direction for you guys. And
You also got to say,
and Raiola, like you forget, he's just a freshman.
Yeah, true
You know,
freshman.
he shouldn't even be on the field yet. He's
True
like
freshman.
winning games for them.
Looks good. And I will say, going forward, this coming week is a must win. You got to make a bowl. We play UCLA and we get them at home.
Oh, yeah, you
Gotta
better
win.
win that one.
Gotta win that one.
Ohio State,
gotta win that one.
Their coaching is like the clock management was horrendous at the end of the game.
I was listening to some Ohio State stuff. So if Ohio State plays like this, I'm assuming they probably lose next week to Penn State. They lose to Penn State.
They're on the bubble.
They're on the bubble. Like,
yeah.
It's
going to be fun.
The dream
they got
scenario,
Indiana too.
I was going to say the dream scenario for Luke is the loss to Penn State, the loss to Indiana.
Yeah.
What happened? So if you guys didn't know, Penn State, Oregon, Indiana don't play each other. So there is a very fun scenario where all 3 of those teams are undefeated going into the Big Ten championship.
Plays for the championship?
It's
Points.
Similar opponents.
Uh-huh.
So I believe it would be, or like the strength of your opponents that you've played. So I think it would be, I listened to a podcast today that said if everything continues down that path, it would be Oregon, Penn State.
Okay.
Which actually, Indiana not playing for the Big Ten championship, they get a bye technically.
If they were undefeated,
they're in the playoffs. If they're undefeated, they're probably in the playoff if they have 1 loss. But like, if they're undefeated, they definitely get the home field advantage. So you get a home playoff game in Indiana in December.
Can I actually get it really? Well, they got to play Michigan, and they're going to probably beat the shit out of Michigan.
Like, I'm hoping that happens. And also, if that does happen, that means Ohio State goes 9-3, probably misses the playoff, and Ryan Day's fired then.
You think that's it? Just one
well, this feels like coming into the season, it felt like Ohio State was putting everything in. They spent so much money. They got Chip Kelly as an OC. And it's like, it's all or nothing here on this year. Like, so many people were just like penciling them in for the Natty, let alone
I think Brian Day will get fired. He is going to get fired after this season.
The only question is, if you fire Ryan Day, A, he's going to get picked up right away by somebody.
Sure.
Who cares?
And B, who's better that you can get?
Chip Kelly.
Urban Meyer
no, Matty. Chip Kelly is not better. I don't think Urban Meyer comes back.
Chip Kelly's better.
Chip Kelly is not better.
No, Chip Kelly was just ahead of the game. That's why he soared,
Dude, Brian Day sucks.
I don't know how you could say definitively.
I don't say he sucks, but I think, dude, it's just the college landscape has changed.
You get handed the keys of Ohio State and their recruiting and their the tradition and the players they can get.
Was he average 1 loss a year?
Doesn't matter.
That doesn't mean he sucks, though.
The standards are set so high, dude. Look at fucking these Alabama fans crying like fire Brian the
Yeah, they're crazy.
I know, but that's when you get these elite programs.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he sucks.
In college football, it does.
I don't know who else you go for and go,
I don't know
okay,
who
this
else
guy's going to be a slam dunk.
I don't know who's a
I don't
step
know,
up.
but he ain't the answer.
But who? I feel like if you're in the position, you
gotta
have to
understand,
have
like,
somebody.
there's certain teams like the Yankees, the Dodgers.
Yes, but you can't go into this like search blind. You can't. I mean, do they go
I
after
understand
Oregon's
that,
coach?
but somebody, anybody, because what the whole
Prime.
thing is they go, look, our standards are
God.
national title, and like our at least get to the championship game. He hasn't gone to the playoffs. He gets smoked by Michigan every year.
He's
He's
been to the playoffs.
He's got to the playoffs twice, Matty.
Yeah. And they were about like a field goal away from winning the whole thing.
They really were, because they would have smoked TCU as well that year.
Yeah.
Well, he's going to get fired. You'll see.
I mean, if they don't make the playoffs.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but also I'm like, I don't know what that's going to do for you.
I'm saying what the big teams.
I still think like they probably end up making the playoffs. I don't think Ohio State goes 9-3.
They'll lose probably 2 games, but
so they'll lose one more game.
Penn State will probably choke and lose because that's what they do. So we'll see.
I don't know. We'll see. Did you guys see James Franklin's insanely stupid press conference?
Yeah, I did. It was weird.
Yeah, it's a hard situation, but some guys don't know how to handle that shit, and it's like I don't know what to say. It's
for those that didn't see it. Penn State is dealing with an alleged rape from one of the players.
Yeah.
So of course, the first question is like, "Hey, James, what about that rapist?"
Yeah.
And so he's like, he just steps away. He just steps away, and then he's like some school head comes in and is like, well, concerning that, and then like next question again.
First off,
I don't think certain people know how to handle that, and I don't know. I was watching a thing on Belichick with Aaron Hernandez, and they were like, Aaron Hernandez asked to be traded because he felt like he didn't feel safe or whatever, and Bill said no. And it's like,
what, Aaron Hernandez wanted to be traded because he didn't feel safe?
Yeah, he said like people from his hometown were gonna kill him and stuff, and he was doing bad shit, so revenge was gonna come his way.
Sure.
And so he wanted to get traded to somewhere far away, and Bill was like, no. And they're blame stuff on Bill. I'm like, how can you blame it on Bill? Like he's a football coach. He can't police these guys all the time. And I mean, it's a horrible situation. And obviously James Franklin should have handled it better, but sometimes you feel like you're the blame for it. You got 100 kids you're dealing with. You can't watch them all the time, and you can't decipher who's really, really bad people.
No, I mean, it's hard. It's not, I don't know if there's anybody has a good protocol for these types of situations.
Or how to say the right things.
Yeah. How do you say the right things? How do you pay respect to the victim? How do you pay respect to the plaintiff too? If think of a Matt Ariza type situation.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I guess there's just no rules, but it was just fucking hilarious.
It was very weird. Though. It was very weird.
But the best part was that James Franklin would just come back in. So you guys got any questions for me? Like just pretending just turning off whenever anybody said something about the rape guy.
I mean, what he probably should have done is before this made a statement and said, I'm going to talk about this one time. This is what's going on. This is the situation. It's very unfortunate. My heart goes out to the victim. And I'm a football coach, and it's like a police investigation. It's a campus investigation. And I can only answer questions now about the football team.
Yeah. It's weird because college has different rules to protecting their student athletes as well. So you really can't say much. Moving on, we got Notre Dame just thumping Navy. That was
a bummer because I was so excited for Navy to do something, and it was just they were outclassed for sure.
They were outclassed, but also that is easily the worst game I have ever seen Navy play this season. They had turned the ball over one time in the first game of the season, They turned it over damn near 6 times in this game. They almost turned. It felt like 5 times.
Well,
in the first
were they
half.
trying to pass more because they fell behind? Is that
no?
why?
It was fumbles.
Oh, really?
It was
Just fumbles.
It was fumbles all
Okay.
over the place. They would drive. It was the first half was so frustrating because they would drive down the field and like have good drives, and then an errant option fumble or just someone drops the ball while they're getting tackled. Notre Dame would like return it for a big one. It was so frustrating to watch.
It wasn't very, it just didn't seem close. I had 4 games on, so I had Nebraska, Ohio State, Navy, Notre Dame. I forget the other 2 I had. Alabama, did they play at 9 a.m. or first game?
5 fumbles lost is what it was.
Oh, wow.
1 interception.
Atrocious.
It was insane.
I felt like college, there wasn't that signature game this week that Vanderbilt's fun and they gave Texas a good game, but there wasn't that game that knocked your socks off. There was no Georgia, Alabama. The NFL, on the other hand.
Well, we did have.
If you wanted crazy, A&M LSU was probably the big night game. That was the big night one.
That's one of those games Chip Kelly tends to sneak out and save his hide with, but then just got bested by A&M, who seems to be trending in the right direction.
They control their destiny in the SEC right now. They're first place.
Start now. That guy's got to start.
He looked good.
Yeah, as soon as he came in, the game just shifted. I don't think Connor Weigman, he's another guy that's big time recruit that just don't have it, man.
Yeah. No, we don't. Also, shout out Oregon for dominating Illinois. They are rolling right now.
Yeah, they're I like how they've just gotten better, like how bad they looked at the beginning of the year, and then just have sort of ramped it up, and now they're looking what everybody thought they were going to be like.
And to be fair, the Idaho almost loss looks really bad for week 1, but the Boise State close win is kind of understandable with how good Boise's looked.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Texas sneaks by. They get by Vandy. Vandy still looks really good and feisty.
Yeah.
It's shaping up with the way the schedule's looking that Texas A&M could potentially be a rematch in the SEC championship game, which would be kind of fun.
Who do you got in that?
I got Texas. I got Texas in that one.
That would be pretty funny though, those two, because they weren't neither of them were in the SEC 5-6 years ago. I don't know when A&M
I'm still trying to think if Quinn Ewers is a good quarterback.
2014? Is that when A&M?
Oh, has it been that long now? God.
It's been almost 10 years, maybe a little less.
And Texas is their first year, so
yeah, that was a big one. And then a couple other big stories for me from the day is Colorado looks like a potentially legitimate Big 12 contender.
They're playing very good.
They run the ball well. That defensive front is legit. They have great speed. They can score on just about anybody. I thought Cincinnati to me is probably their best win, and they handled it. They need some stuff to happen if they want to make the Big 12 championship game. They need Iowa State to lose a game and then beat K-State, I think, at the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And then BYU keeps winning. BYU somehow keeps winning.
You think Dion will be coaching Dallas next year?
Probably. His son will get drafted to the Cowboys, and he'll head down, and they'll kick Dak out of town.
Jim, what are we looking forward to next week in college ball? Right away we've got the Ohio State, Penn State.
I would have looked at the future, but there was one more game I wanted to talk about, and that was SMU Duke, because SMU only plays in instant classics, and I don't know how they won this game. Because SMU turned the ball over 6 times. Duke turned it over 0, and SMU still wins 28-27 in overtime. I don't know. I didn't look at the stats or the history. I can't think of a team that that loses the turnover battle 6-0 and still wins.
Yeah.
I can't we saw crazy. Maybe Notre Dame how dominant Notre Dame was over that with those stats.
Unless you're playing a way inferior team.
Duke was probably a fraudulent 6-win team, but
yeah,
6 turnovers, you got to win that game.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. You win the turnover battle, you usually win.
And then Kennesaw State, the worst team, the last ranked team in FBS beat Liberty, the number 1 team in the conference at USA.
Crazy. You never know.
That's quite the upset.
And then right now, it's just like I've been trying to wrap my head around like all these conference scenarios of like who's gonna be like playing in the conference championship game because the SEC is crazy. Boise State's favorite in the Mountain West right now. Big win over UNLV last week. Mm-hmm. They're basically on the track. It's like the G5 playoff picture is like Boise State, UNLV still technically in it, but it's Boise State, I guess kind of UNLV, Army, Memphis, and then don't sleep on Louisiana and the Sun Belt, but I have no idea who's winning the damn Sun Belt. This week, though.
That's what keeps Matty up at night.
This week, I'm trying to win the Sun Belt. Do we have a good Friday State game again? A potential letdown spot, San Diego State at Boise State could be a good game. That could be a good one. Duke might no. Ole Miss and Arkansas. Arkansas offense and that quarterback is dangerous. They can get anybody. That is a good game.
Yeah, Ole Miss is like you never know what you're going to get with them.
That is a good game.
A big time team or a shitty team.
Arkansas, they're feisty. Hold on. Ohio State, Penn State, obviously probably like the headliner.
Yeah.
Number 4 versus number 3. Big game there.
Do you think watching Ohio State, I'm not sure. I haven't really seen much Penn State,
offensive line I don't know issues.
How solid they are, but I feel like Ohio State can get rolled this year at some point.
I don't know if anyone's rolling them.
Yeah.
But like if Penn State's going to win one of these games against Ohio State in James Franklin's tenure, it'd be this year because Ohio State's on like their 3rd or 4th left tackle at this point.
Oh wow.
Their offensive line is beat up.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt at Auburn, Hugh Freeze did mention that he is tired of playing Diego Pavia because he played him twice at New Mexico State. Kent State, Houston, no. Oh, Florida, Georgia. I mean, Georgia's probably going to roll and wreck Florida's season, but I will say it feels like 3 coaches we had on the hot seat coming into the season with Billy Napier at Florida, Sam Pittman at Arkansas, and Aranda at Baylor. As of right now, kind of like have cooled their seats a little bit.
Okay.
It feels that way. Like Florida's probably going to like get creamed because they have, I think, Georgia, Ole Miss, another big game coming up against like a really good opponent. They're probably not making a bowl.
Yeah.
Arkansas is probably making a bowl game, and I don't think they do any damage, but Arkansas could like fuck with the SEC standings, which is interesting. And then Baylor, obviously, like they just beat Oklahoma State. They just beat TCU. They're kind of like playing their way out of the hot seat a little bit. Yeah, Arkansas 3-2 in conference. Interesting. Other than that, A&M South Carolina, I haven't looked at the line, but I'll probably be betting South Carolina on that one because South Carolina's defensive front is really good. Louisville at Clemson is also one to watch Saturday night. Clemson hasn't really faced a great opponent since getting demolished by Georgia. Louisville's a pretty good team. That's a good game to watch on ESPN. And then hilariously, the premier ACC matchup is number 18 Pitt at number 20 SMU, both undefeated in conference.
Gotta love Pitt.
8 p.m., but it's on the ACC network.
Is it still Narduzzi over there?
It is still Pat Narduzzi.
I always feel like this is like I feel like he started out strong and then kind of just faded to mid, and now he's
he'll always have like a couple seasons because remember, like it wasn't that long ago with the Kenny Pickett season.
True that.
He's had a few like downers, but they're like killing it right now, especially on offense. That Eli Holstein quarterback they have.
Yeah.
Eli Holstein.
Yeah, Eli Holstein's great.
Yeah, it's like Oklahoma where they Oklahoma State, like they go back and forth. Like they'll have 2 good years, 2 off years.
The way I always look at Oklahoma State, and this is a real bad year for Oklahoma State, is when you think they're
back next year.
When you think they're going to be good, they're going to be bad. When you think they're going to be bad, they're going to be good.
Yep.
Shout out Iowa State though. Iowa State in the driver's seat and BYU in the driver's seat for the Big 12.
BYU, with a Jewish quarterback at the Mormon.
Yeah,
school.
BYU baby.
That's wild. Is Eli Holstein Jewish too, or
I don't know.
That's a pretty tribal name.
Oh, we get Wisconsin, Iowa this week too. Ugh.
All right, let's move it to the big boys, the NFL. Matty, what'd you see this week? What looked
Oh,
good?
the Hail Mary.
Yeah, I mean that was
And we don't
insane.
get a lot of
That
Hail
was a
Marys,
cherry on top for an absolute shit
but
game.
I don't know
Yeah,
if you watched the end. One of the Bears players was
yeah.
celebrating and waving to the crowd while the
Oh
ball
yeah,
was in the air. It's
He was
taunting the crowd.
yes.
he was specifically the one that was supposed to be like the back guy to like guard that
I mean,
guy.
I cut him.
Are you sure that's not on the coaching?
It's a little, but I cut him, and I got to give the Commanders. I'm not going to say the Redskins, so I got to give the Commanders credit because they did everything right. They moved the ball exactly where they needed to move it. The play before they got 10 extra yards, and then what they did was one guy there's everybody jumps, and then one guy moves away because on the tip he's going to be there, and it's like you got to know you got to cover the guy on the tip.
That was the waiver's job.
Yeah, that was insane. It was too bad. I mean, that the game, like, we didn't really get to see the quarterbacks going off like we were wanted to.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams was not having a
He
good day.
looked good at the end of the game. He looked good for that fourth quarter.
Yeah.
What the fuck was the handoff to an
was a
offensive
great
lineman
ending.
that they
I
tried?
mean, yeah, some games are sloppy.
What was
bad,
that
but
call?
They blow up in the fourth, and the game blew up, and it was beautiful. It was a great game. I was an idiot because I put money on the Bears when they were down 12-7, and it sucked that I didn't get that bet. I would have won like $80.
I won because I live bet
Jim,
the
I thought you
Eagles
would
when they
like
were down.
a handoff to a
I
lineman.
did, but it was just a weird time to do it. And I liked what they had been doing with him because they'd been like using him as just like a blocking fullback. That's what they've been doing for like a good chunk of the season.
All right. What are some other games you liked,
My
Matty,
boy
or
Tua was
hated?
back. I don't
They
care.
lost. They're just having a bad year.
Dude, Matty, he looked good. I think the Cardinals are a good team.
Yes, they are. And they're feisty and they're scrappy and they come back and they don't quit.
I was just happy to actually enjoy watching the Dolphins play.
Yeah, and
it has been like the last 3 or 4 weeks have been a chore. This team has looked so bad.
Mike McDaniel. I hope he survives this season. I like him, but like the luster of him and his youth and exuberance, you can just see like it's starting to go. And he's not the colorful guy that when you're losing, you're not colorful. When you're losing, it's bad.
I still had fun this week. This week I had fun.
The Jets are the biggest disgrace in football. For everybody that goes after Tom Brady, hey, everybody thought like we went to the Bucs, it was going to be a nightmare. He did what he had to do. Look what and I love Aaron Rodgers, but God, it's a fucking disaster. And it's when he leaves, it's going to be worse. Like he's going to leave that franchise in absolute shambles. Like next year, Devontae Adams is going to have to get traded again. And they
might as well just trade him right now.
They should.
They should just do a fire sale right now. I would even trade Rodgers, like if he wants.
Who would take him?
Raiders. Is there a team on the fence that could maybe push for the playoffs that is missing a quarterback?
Dolphins, the Vikings.
Dude, the way he's been playing, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
looked legitimately not good this year.
And wherever he goes, it's just like it's turmoil, it's drama.
Right. Well, it's the Aaron Rodgers show.
Also, I think what Matty was saying about Tom Brady is like he got everyone thinking this is like a normal thing for an older quarterback to do.
Right.
This. Aaron Rodgers is however old, coming off an Achilles tear.
Yeah.
It's like 38, I think.
It looks like too when he gets hit.
He feels it more.
It just feels like his bones are crunched.
Oh, he's actually 40, so yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a
it
40-year-old
looks
with
like
a
it's
bum
yeah.
Achilles.
I think he'll probably retire, to be honest.
I mean, the way to win the NFL, honestly, and the Lions got lucky because they essentially got a first-round overall pick that lost his confidence. But Jared Goff is still a number one franchise quarterback.
So good.
Got him for nothing, to get rid of a guy that's kind of never going to win with the Lions. And but the truth of the matter is, like, the two new young teams are the Texans and Washington. It's because you gotta luck out with a quarterback. And like the Colts are like, hey, if we have to draft a quarterback the next 20 years, we're gonna get it right one of these years. And they're already done with Anthony Richardson. Like,
are they done? Are they done? Because I thought they were still playing him because
I mean he tapped out of the game. He wanted to go take a break.
They've been running him like crazy.
Doesn't matter.
That is a crazy move.
I've never seen that.
That's
your quarterback.
And I gotta say, Russell Wilson looks like old Russell Wilson.
He looked good.
Now let's make fun of Anthony Richardson more. Like if
you watched him in college, you've known exactly what Anthony Richardson is for like the last 4 years.
Yeah, he didn't have a good, it's sad. Guys win the combine, and when guys win
he kind of had moments last year though, and then he got hurt, of course. So
but his moments were the deep balls, and he throws a good deep ball.
Sure.
He throws a really good deep ball. Guys, but anything short or intermediate is garbage.
I see too many guys win the combine and then do nothing, and he's a example of a guy that kicked ass at the combine, great in a pair of shorts, great doing the exercises. It's like everybody gushes over Joe Milton. Like, oh my God, Joe Milton threw a ball on his knees 80 yards. Okay. Can he read a defense? Can he play?
No.
Can he play?
No.
Who's Joe Milton on this year?
The Patriots.
Have they played him?
No.
Oh, no, he was terrible. Like, it's the same shit.
Yes.
Literally, people at Florida didn't even like Anthony Richardson. And also, the NFL are like, they're kind of telling younger quarterbacks to stay in college and work through your shit there because you're going to get buried right away and it's going to be over for you quick because they have no patience anymore. They are not a developmental league.
That might give me a little time for the UFL, baby.
Yeah.
Get some good quarterbacks down there.
They used to stick with a guy for 5 years and stick with him. Now it's like 2 years, you don't got it, you're out. I mean, Bryce Young, they could be done with him already.
Well, it's the Colts in particular. It's so frustrating because you saw what they looked like with Joe Flacco, and they would be winning these games if he was the quarterback.
Look at the Browns.
Yeah.
You think Deshaun Watson's going to be playing for the, Michigan Panthers next year?
I don't even know if he would do well in that league at this point.
I think he should probably just take a break.
Browns fans got to be fucking pissed that they were rolling with this guy the whole time.
This is their first game over 20 points on the season.
The thing with money is in sports is you play guys because they're making money, and it sucks because you're killing the fans who are paying good money, and you're not putting the best product out there. And as you saw, Deshaun Watson probably isn't the second best quarterback on the Browns.
I'm so glad we got to see Jameis.
He killed it.
We got like the perfect Jameis experience too. Like that last drive, that almost interception that should have probably been an interception, and then it's just an immediate bomb.
And then he's going to regress. So,
well, that's what was with the Saints. You get like a win and a loss, a win and a loss. It's Jameis is perfectly balanced.
Yes,
but he's entertaining every time.
He's still better than Deshaun, though.
Way better. And then the end game quote was amazing.
You got to say the Falcons did good with Kirk Cousins. They're rolling. They're doing good. The Rams are going to be good now. They got their wide receivers back.
Yeah.
The Vikings took a step back, but the Lions, even though they played probably the worst team, they are turning into that elite team.
Jared Goff only threw for 85 yards though.
Just rolling over.
Isn't that nuts? He threw for 85 yards, 3 touchdowns, and
the special teams. That's all they needed. So hot in that game.
They got 2 running backs that are sick. They got great receivers. It's gonna suck about Jameson Williams being out for a little while. But sorry, error on the shortstop with the Dodgers. But the Lions are elite, and it's like they can control home field advantage. The NFC isn't that strong, except for maybe, and I think they win the division, but I can see the Packers maybe giving them a little run, but nobody else. I mean, the 49ers aren't good. I guess Washington is good, but I think they have more experience in Washington. They're the best team in the NFC right now because the 49ers are having an off season.
The Cardinals are doing pretty good too. The Cardinals, it's crazy to me. The NFC West is a wild card.
I don't think they're in the Lions class.
No. I think the Lions are clearly the best team in the NFC.
It kind of feels like the Cardinals could like sort of do really well
They
one
can do
week
very
and
well.
then like
I
look
the
like total shit the next
Yeah,
week. Like
yeah.
It's
The
a wild
Seahawks are
factor.
you don't
like
quite
that.
know what you're getting with them.
Yeah, the Seahawks are like good, bad, good, bad. There's teams like that, but the Lions are like this right now. They're an offensive juggernaut, and like don't judge Goff by 88 yards. He's doing what he needs.
That was a joke.
Are there
man.
like are there like 4 good teams in the AFC and the rest are just
I'm gonna say
bad?
Buffalo, Kansas City,
Ravens,
Houston, but they lost Diggs for the year, and the Ravens.
Houston. Are the Steelers in there?
Yes,
So 6?
I like the. You know what's interesting is like Mike Tomlin is really smart because what he said about Fields and Wilson. He's like, look, I feel like we have a ceiling with Fields, but I want to see what Wilson can do because if he can capture his magic, we are a Super Bowl caliber team, and he's right.
Mm-hmm.
And you're seeing kind of Wilson doing what he used to do with Seattle, and people forget how fucking good he was. He threw a dime the other day that was so beautiful.
You look really good.
Yesterday.
That's funny too, because I heard a lot of like sports people like, I can't believe they're going with Wilson after Fields has led him to like 4 victories. And it's like he's not looking good though. You can win and not look great too. Like
I looked it up just to see if my theory was correct. Yeah. Almost half the teams in the AFC are only at 2 wins or less.
Oh. Yeah. No
That's
bueno,
awful.
baby.
That's awful. Matty, are we out on the Bengals finally? Or are you still on the Bengals?
God, I had him beating the Eagles.
They got to win like 7 out of 9, and Burrow's talking like, "Oh yeah, we'll do it."
I live bet the Eagles in that game. Won some good money on that one.
Problem is they start so slow
every time.
When you start so slow, you win like 3 games in a row, and it drains you.
And you think this is it for Taylor? I mean, they've had diminishing returns since their Super Bowl appearance.
I think they'll give 1 more year. I think a Super Bowl appearance gives you like 1 extra season that you probably don't deserve. But there's a problem that every beginning of the year they start out so bad, and it's like for the first 3 weeks they look so unprepared.
Yeah,
and
which is a coaching problem.
Every season is like that. So there is a problem there for sure.
I don't think you can lose to the Patriots. I don't think you should lose to the Patriots
that's
this
unacceptable.
Year and keep your job. That's just me. I don't think you should lose to the Patriots and keep your job.
I mean, I'm like looking at the Jets. I'm like, could an interim coach be fired? I mean, they lost to the Patriots are a disgrace.
Who is their interim coach?
Brian Ulbrich or Jeff Ulbrich. He was a linebacker on the 49ers in the 2000s.
They should bring in that guy that was the interim coach for the Raiders 2 years ago, that Richie
Pisaccia?
Yeah. Bring him in.
What's he Tom doing? Cable.
That's one of the best interim head coaches I've ever seen in my life.
I know, they wouldn't give him a job, and then they fell apart.
Wonder where he is now.
They gave it to great Josh McDaniels.
Ugh.
I mean, the Jets just need to find like a real fucking head coach.
He's with the Packers, Luke.
You know, it would be. I really feel like Matt Campbell. I'd love to see what he could do with either a bigger college program or
I don't think he'd be an NFL guy.
What about Ohio State?
He has ties to like Ohio from his time in the MAC, and he coached at Toledo. I mean, this would be the year to do it because it's like Iowa State's on a crazy run. But
I kind of feel I don't know why he hasn't been poached yet. I mean, they were talking about him like 4 years ago.
Yeah, like 4 or 5 years ago, right?
Well, he's rolling this year, and they're a playoff team. Oklahoma lost again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're 4-4 now.
What about Brent Venables to the Jets?
There you go.
You know,
just
guy
another bald, angry guy. Oh, wait, he's not bald. He just looks like he should be.
He's just angry.
Red. Ben Johnson guy. So, like, he's the hot coordinator of the Lions. And he's obviously.
Here's what I'll say about that. There's no rush, you know?
I don't think he wants to be a head coach.
He might not be. And like, you see what like Mike McDaniel's going through right now, and you're like, is it really that great? Like, yes, you're going to get a big, much fatter payday, but you also might be out of a job in 4 years and go to a situation you don't know. Like the odds are you're going to go to a shit team. That's the problem.
Look, it's the coach is a challenge to be the head coach, but at the same time, if you love calling plays and that's all you want to focus on, you're just an offensive guy. Why not just be the best OC you can be?
Yeah, I mean, like it's great if you had like coaches like a head coach, like that's your role, like that I'm the OC and that's what all I want to do. Like people working together too, staff working together. It's nice. Not everybody just fighting to be a head coach somewhere. I don't know. But
well, yeah, so the Hail Mary was interesting. What other things were interesting in the NFL?
The Titans should just be doing a fire sale too, right? Like, can they?
Yeah,
Is there
they
anyone
did.
that they
They
could
traded
sell?
Hopkins. The Chiefs keep rolling. I really want the Lions to beat the fuck out of the Chiefs. I think they play this year, and they could play in the Super Bowl. It would be so beautiful for the blue collar Lions to just beat the fuck out. It's like I gotta admit the Chiefs are so good and they know how to play, and teams beat themselves before they play them because they got it. They want to do extra. They want to do this. They feel like they have to do that, and they get out of their game. But I'm so tired of the Chiefs. But they're good. They're that fucking good.
They do not play the Lions, Matty, but in 3 weeks they do play the Bills in Buffalo.
That's gonna be fun.
They got the Packers in a couple weeks, and the Niners. I mean, Vikings again.
I love what the Bills are doing, by the way. I mean, they're still rolling. They should have bad coaching versus the Texans, but I just hope they don't waste this window with Josh Allen because he is such an MVP for that team and he does so much. And they try to loosen the load off him, but certain games, I mean, he's doing what he has to do for that fucking team, man. He's such a warrior.
All right, Matty, any games you're looking forward to this week?
Let's take a look at the schedule. I mean, I told these guys today, I'm such a loser. I'll be waking up at 6 a.m. to watch the shitty Panthers versus the Giants.
I'll admit this looks like a bad week.
Well, hey, man, I love football. So Texans, Jets, I mean, I'm just going to be like, this is a fucking disaster. The Cowboys need to bounce back. The Bills kind of own the Dolphins, but I wouldn't be surprised the Dolphins gave them a tough game. Titans, Patriots, wow. What a game that is. No, I'm kind of interested to see how the Broncos do in Baltimore. I think they're going to play them tough. I like what they're doing.
That's a good one. That is a good game.
Bo Nix has improved every week. I think the Jaguars Eagles is interesting. The return of Doug Peterson.
I think Bears and Cardinals could be interesting.
Lions Packers is the game of the week.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. And I don't know. It's weird because every time they put in Malik Willis, he plays really well. And I still love Jordan Love.
Do we have an update on him?
I'm not sure, but they're not missing much. Malik Willis, he obviously he doesn't throw like Jordan Love does, but they play.
I just think Matt LaFleur is a really good coach.
I do too. I think he's great.
Won't sideline him for multiple weeks, according to league source.
I'm looking forward to Aaron Hernandez tonight. I think this is where he kills
his availability this week up in the air.
Oh, okay.
Too much gay sex, too much graphic gay sex.
Matt, I thought you were into gay sex.
Literally thrusting.
Every time we hang out, you go, Luke, you know what I love? I love gay sex.
Dude, there's literally thrusting. And look, I have no wrong with
the thrusting.
But there's literally even for heterosexual stuff, I'd be like, this is a little heavy for FX. This is a little graphic. All you gotta do is show them in bed. We know what happened.
Matty, you missed Leather Pride here this week in Palm Springs.
Well, I'll be there next year.
I have a coworker that he's taking off the next couple of weekends, and I go, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Well, this weekend's Leather Pride. Next weekend,
buy me a bus ticket.
Next weekend is regular Pride." And I go, "What?" Oh, I'm going to need the following weekend off. It's White Pride.
Wait.
And he's from Egypt, so he doesn't get the connotation. He's like, "Oh, when is White Pride? Yeah, that sounds cool." And I go, "Shut up! You can't say that. But
Flavor Flav is at the game. Everybody's you have to put up something with cancer. It's the standard of the cancer thing.
What you got? Did you just say you got to put up with somebody with cancer?
Well, you got to put up a sign of somebody that have cancer you lost.
Oh, okay.
Cancer.
Oh, wow.
I'm
sure
know.
Everybody's got some. Cancer's just everywhere.
My father died of cancer. But I'm not going to pick him because that's too obvious.
Who else would you pick?
Sean Murphy's friend.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, I'm really not excited for having Sean here. Because I know he's going to be like, let's go to a bar, let's party. And I'm like, Sean, like, I just want to watch sports.
So he'll do that even if he's on his meds? Like, he's not just docile?
I don't know. I think because he's in LA, he's going to want to rage and he's going to, like, get this energy back. But I think what I'm going to make him do is take me to a casino.
Here's my prediction. He goes off his meds. He runs away with your sister, Kate. It's you and Jake having to raise your nephew by, 2 men and a baby.
Well, if he gives her money like he gave Yamanika, I could see it. I mean, he paid for like dental surgery, or so she said. When I talked to him the last time, it was so weird. Like, where I'm like, remember how he said how in love he was with Yamanika? And I'm like, do you ever like think about it? He's like, no. I'm like, not at all. He's like, no, why would I? And I'm like, are you aware you were telling me you were in love with her and she was your soulmate and she was your spider monkey? And
Spider monkey.
I forgot about the spider monkey.
Is that a pet thing, like a pet name for somebody too?
I don't know. He's like, she just jumped up like a spider monkey. I'm like, what?
Oh, what do you like? I mean, he had a boner in the club. Are you worried about him just having a boner around you at all times?
Nah, because he's off his meds.
Or he's on his meds.
Well, yeah, I think on his meds, he's going to be pretty boring. He's back in college. And I'm like, you meet any girls? He's like, I'm 20 years older than him. And then I'm like, and then I'm like, wow, it's a different Sean Murphy than when he's not on his drugs.
Yeah, right.
But he's okay. I hope he doesn't. I mean, I love the guy, but I don't want to entertain. It's just like, I hope he's not like, hey, I want to do this, I want to do that. And if he does, I'm going to make him take me to the casino for the day.
Oh, boy. You guys could drive out here. We got casinos out here.
Yeah, maybe we will. He's going to drive, he said, to San Francisco, which is crazy.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
All right. Few odds and ends. RIP Fernando Valenzuela, who died shortly after our broadcast last week.
Mm-hmm.
Just a phenomenal picture. Historically groundbreaking. I'm sure he's an inspiration to a lot of the Dodgers playing this week. Also, Jack.
Awesome.
What's that?
It was awesome.
Yeah.
He was a teenager, too, kicking ass.
Yeah, he was a fantastic pitcher.
19 years old. Cy Young, shutting everybody down.
And the streets got a little bit safer this, last week as John Callis, the Ravens fan who just beats up everyone in his way wearing an opposing jersey, has been arrested, and his bail has been denied. But it's okay, though. He's blaming it on a cocaine and alcohol bender.
That sounds about right.
I mean,
valid.
I would.
I've never done cocaine or alcohol before, sir. I didn't know what would happen to me.
How bad did he hurt the person?
I think, well, he knocked one guy out, like in the video. Hard. Like one punch. He's a big dude.
He's got to do serious time.
I think one of them went to the hospital. No, this dude's like everything you hate about people. This guy is that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch it because I don't like to watch shit like that. I never.
Yeah, it gets you mad.
I never understood, like, you can be the deepest rivals against somebody, but like you want to beat somebody up because they root for another team. It's like, hey, you could be born Baltimore and DC are like 40 minutes away. You could have easily been born 40 minutes away and been on the other side. Like,
Yeah.
You're punching a guy because you were born 40 minutes from him, dummy.
He just beat him up and he's like, I don't lose. And now I think he's lost this one.
Yeah.
We'll see how he goes with the criminal trial. And I'm sure there'll be a nice civil suit too. So, good luck putting away this guy for fucking life. All right, everybody. I think that's going to do it. Anything to add, gentlemen?
CFL playoffs this weekend, boys.
Enjoy
who you got?
Series.
Let's go Saskatchewan Roughriders.
All right.
Luke, one of your boys is on that team.
Shea Patterson?
Shea Patterson,
yeah.
baby. Backup quarterback.
Oh, he's not even.
Hell yeah.
Well,
Get him,
he's the short. So they put him in during games. He's the short down yardage guy. So he does he's the sneaks.
He's a 5-star quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah, NFL.
International man of mystery, Shea Patterson.
He really is.
We'll get him on here one day. I've reached out to him to Twitter 5 years ago, and he still hasn't responded. He's just been busy.
Same. I reached out when he was still in Japan.
All right, boys. I'm going to play this baseball game. Much love.
Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week for another exciting edition of the Sports Hole.